Hey everybody, welcome into the Delmarva Sports Insider, your live and local sports show for your teams right here on the shore. I'm Sports Director Brandon Bossert.
What is up? It is yours truly, sports anchor Devin J. Martin. We got a lot to talk about, Brandon. It's the end of the regular season of DSI basketball here. Wow, I can't believe it's come so fast.
Playoffs right around the corner. What a week it was. We started off with a championship in Berlin, and it ends with a couple of conference championships tonight. A couple conference champions being crowned.
And also some other champions this weekend as well, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Plus, Y-High Bennett in a thriller last night, and we also talk about the Bayside Championships later on, so we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, you'll want to stay tuned for this 35-minute show. Those things, they didn't disappoint on Tuesday, but we will get to Y-High and Bennett and the Bayside Championship and all that stuff coming up. But we have some easy action for you tonight leading off the show.
So for people who don't know, that's for the EZAC Championships. Delmarva Christian was hosting both games, boys and girls. Let's start with the boys. They played host to the Salisbury schools. Now the Dragons and Royals going head-to-head for that EZAC trophy. This game did not disappoint. Casey Bell is going to dish it to Malachi Light in the corner, and he's going to start the game off with a three. It was raining threes all day in this game. The Dragons, though, would bite right back. Alex Carrillo gets it from Tyler Ball, and Carrillo gets his own three ball to drop right there. However, that would be the last bit of points for the Dragons would have for a while. Carter Brazier is going to hit a corner three. The Royals going on a 15-0 run. That started with that basket. 15 points, 5 3-pointers.
Yeah, they were hitting from downtown. Royals deadly from three-point land. You see it right here with this montage. An absolute clinic on their home floor tonight. Mason Bohinski nailing a three-point shot of his own. Salisbury School is absolutely stunned. Tyler Ball doing all he could to keep the Dragons alive in this matchup, but it just wouldn't be enough. Delmarva Christian's hot start to the game would be too much to overcome as the Royals win the EZAC Championship over Salisbury School 70-61. The Royals getting revenge for that 2-point loss to the Dragons last season. We spoke with head coach Mark Hanna after the game about how it feels to win the championship with such a dominant performance from his boys.
It feels awesome. All praise to God, man. We told our guys that before. We said, look, if God is for us, who can be against us? And our guys just came out. We believed all year. You know, people wrote us off early in the year. Somebody said you might as well put Salisbury School's name on the trophy. And we were like, oh, what about us? And our guys, man, we're young. We have one senior, one guy who comes back with varsity experience, and these guys played with so much heart, and they kept believing and fighting all game long.
So the first conference crown of the 2023 season goes to Delmarva Christian on the boys' side.
So, yeah, they get revenge, as you mentioned, for the last season's EZAC Championship loss to the Salisbury School. And you know the old saying, Brandon, you live by the three or you die by the three.
Hey, they were living tonight.
Absolutely. 15 points, 5 straight three-pointers. They must have had the Holy Spirit and the hands of Jesus of Nazareth guiding the three ball into the net. 5 straight threes sparks a 15-0 run that Salisbury School just couldn't overcome, and that's why Delmarva Christians is the champs.
Yes, the Holy Spirit was with Delmarva Christian tonight from three-point land. 15-0 run, that's tough to come back from.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Especially early on, especially when those threes are falling like that. That's a gut punch.
Absolutely.
But they might have gotten Salisbury School out of their rhythm as well with that run, too, because Salisbury School was going for three-pointers of their own and really lost the discipline that made them so tough to beat during the regular season, making a lot of impromptu passes that normally we don't see them make.
Right.
Delmarva Christian winning it with their three-point shooting tonight. Tyler Ball might be the best player on the floor, but just wasn't enough tonight.
Absolutely not. And as you mentioned, when you start hitting threes like that, that kind of speeds up the competition. They try to go tit for tat and match the superpower from three, but they just couldn't do it.
All right, now let's check out the top 5 teams in the standings in the Henlopen in boys basketball so far this season. Seaford sitting pretty at 18-1. They have a legitimate chance of going back to the Bob. You see 5 next to Seaford, should be 1, but, you know, hey, just flip them around. Seaford number 1, they're on top. How about Polytech, a perfect 5-0 in the Henlopen North competition. Problem is they're 0-4 outside the Henlopen North. They'll play either Seaford or Laurel in the Henlopen title game.
Yep, and then you got, speaking of Laurel, they're 14-4, just 1 loss in the South. that against Seaford, a team that they will play again on Tuesday. And don't sleep on Indian River, a 14-5 record, and some senior leaders. They could grab a win or two in the playoffs.
I could see that.
And Dover, 14-6, a disappointing record for them, but they're riding a 4-game win streak to end the season.
Yeah, I think that the Henlopen, we see a lot of really, really good teams. The only problem that we see every single year with the Henlopen is how good are they going to be against teams that are outside the conference. We saw Seaford lose to Middletown earlier this year.
Yep.
Like we said, Polytech's been tremendous. They beat Dover twice in the Henlopen North, 15-0 against conference foes, but 0-4 outside the conference.
And don't forget, Cape Henlopen and Lake Forest are also two teams that I think they're on the Polytech, Cape, and Dover level as well.
Yeah, we've got a number of teams who will win at least a couple of games. Potentially we'll see Seaford or maybe Polytech go to the Bob this year. Let's send it over now to sports reporter Cole Howard at the wall with some highlights from the Bayside. Cole?
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Devin. We talked about the Henlopen. Now we got to talk about the Bayside. We're going to start in the 1A with some heated rivals, the Snow Hill Eagles and those Pocomoke Warriors. The Eagles are rolling. They're winning 5 of their last 6 games, while Pocomoke is losers of 4 of their last 6, stalling coming into their final regular season games. Both teams playing for positioning in the 1 East bracket. Both teams were locked early on. Keandre Nixon finishes the layup. Eli Brittingham, he's going to make an impact on both ends of the court. He gets the layup too, but look at the hustle. He gets back on defense, and he sets his feet, gets it right in his chest, and it's going the other way. That was the highlight of the Warriors' night. The Eagles were on fire from three-pointers, and that carried them to wire-to-wire victory. The Eagles hit 4 threes in the first quarter alone. They could not miss no matter what they tried to do, and they would take this victory by 11 points. In a quick recap of the fantastic game we saw at the Waller Dome last night between Y-High and Bennett, the first matchup between these two went to double overtime, and last night these two nearly ended in extra period once again. Zakai Smullen with 30 points and Jace Hudson with 26 for Bennett, 56 points from that duo. It just wasn't enough for Bennett to overcome their crosstown rivals on the road. The game came down to the final seconds. Y-High takes it, and Antoine Wilson stole the show with our play of the week. And check it out. Zakai Smullen's going to get pickpocketed, but they're going to give it to Jalen DeShiel Andrews, and he's got a check in his hand, and he's going to take it to the bank. And I'm telling you, he's going to toss it up for the fast break alley-oop. Wait for it. Poof! Good God, you got to be kidding me. Insane alley-oop. And that place erupted. My jaw was on the floor. It was an insane play. The Waller Dome erupted, and Y-High rode that all the way to the victory. They get it in the 77-74 final score, our game of the week. And now Y-High prepares for their next opponent, which is Queen Anne's in the Bayside Championship. Brandon, Devin, who do you think is going to win that game?
All right, Cole, thanks a lot. Now for the game coming up on Tuesday, like you said, boys Bayside Championship game. We'll talk about who we think is going to win. It's going to be between Queen Anne's and Y-High for the second straight season. Both teams coming in 19-1. The game will be played at the Civic Center on Tuesday night. Tip-off scheduled for 7:45. You can get tickets online. Just log on to Twitter to find out, or Facebook for more information on that. We're set for next week's showdown, Devin. Queen Anne's, Y-High. Your thoughts on the Bayside Championship?
Well, Cole, Brandon, I think my first thing I want to say, this is definitely going to be a great game. Both teams know each other very well, as you mentioned.
On the football field and on the basketball court.
Yep, and this is a rematch of last year's Bayside Championship and state regional finals where Y-High won both of those games. Now, the Lions are a little deeper, in my opinion, and their best bet to beat the Tribe is to attack the rim, be aggressive, force one or maybe even a couple of the Tribe starters to deal with foul trouble. Coach Waller has many years of experience. I mean, we all know that. And that experience has taught him how to kind of learn who's on the team is ready to play and who's not ready to play. And for reasons that he and his coaching staff knows, and only them alone they know, Butch likes to keep this season's rotation very small. They like to play really 5. They barely go to the bench to get one guy off the bench. But if the Lions can force Coach Waller to use his bench, I think they'll have a chance at beating the Tribe and avenging their last few losses. If they can't, the Tribes are going to win. They're going to be the favorites. So I'm going to have to lean towards the Tribe in this matchup because Antoine Wilson is just a nightmare matchup. Leatherbury, Andrews, Handy, they all have great chemistry, and they know how to play off Wilson and each other.
Well, the Lions' lone loss coming against Y-High this year, 69-60. That means that a lot of these Queen Anne's players have been around for that loss earlier this year, Bayside Championship loss last year, regional loss last year, their only loss of the season this year. I think the Lions have the deeper roster. We agree on that. Antoine Wilson on the court, Butch Waller head coach. You've got the best player, you've got the best coach. So I think that duo will ultimately be the championship-winning duo on the floor, and the reason why they come out on top. But Devin, what are some things that Queen Anne's can do to win? I think that there are two things. One, get Y-High in foul trouble, attack the rim. Two, triangle and two, maybe double up Antoine Wilson the whole game and see if Y-High can beat your zone.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see. We will see.
All right, that'll do it for the A block. We're taking our first time out. We're breaking down the girls' championship game in the Bayside, Decatur, and undefeated Kent Island. That's coming up next on the Delmarva Sports Insider.
Sean Tucker, head boys basketball coach at Cambridge South Dorchester, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.